Hello, this is Positive Vibes Enterprise. I'm Tom Goodwin. This is Michelle Ronquillo.
Hi, everyone.
And the subject today has to do with emotions powering the spiritual. And a lot of times you're going to have spiritual people that claim to be spiritual that are tuning out the emotions. They have this, well, I'm not going to be attached to anything. I'm not going to let anything affect me. And they're the ones that are escaping from reality, because if you don't connect with the emotions of reality, you're not connecting with people when they're being challenged really heavily in this world. We have really serious problems. We have really intense issues, and they all have emotions related to it. People that feel the problems, and it has the emotional impact on.
Yes, and also when you are aware of your emotional state, you can get the clarity needed. Physical training is very, very crucial. I have been a spiritualist all my life since 5 years old. My eye has been open, and I have been in the energy sense of walking and experiencing spiritual life. Now that I'm honing in on the higher levels of my spiritual understanding, the physical is so vital to controlling your emotional state and the things that you go through. Like Tom said, there are hard spiritual lessons out there. There are tough things that I had to overcome and become a better person through those spiritual crises. But if I knew, like the saying, if I knew what I know now, I could have plugged in the information Tom has taught me about meditative walking and breathing and control and exercise and diet. And it all gives you a spiritual clarity, a spiritual stance where you can understand how the strength that you can tap into your own strength inside of you. And it is to be not a crumble person of emotional state of crisis, but a thriving emotional state.
You have to be real healthy to
Yes.
handle really intense emotions. And it's a different type of health than
Yes.
maybe what you would standardly think about. It includes psychological health, and psychological health is related to the parts of the brain that have to do with the emotions. So there's a physical connection with emotions. When you feel really strong emotions, they're going to affect you physically, and they're going to create stress.
Right.
And when you do the breathing techniques I do, they have a tendency, they control the emotion. They help you to handle the emotions. Because when you get in a real emotional state and you're not handling the emotion very well, you're going to get really panicky, and you're going to go crazy with your breathing. Well, you learn to handle breathing that's really intense, and then you can handle emotions that are really intense without losing control.
Yes.
And then when you do the meditative walking you're using very precise, careful movements that are really balanced and really stable. And in order to do that, it has effect on the body, and it makes you have to be able to stay in a state that can concentrate on that precision. And if and while you're focusing on your emotions have to be under control, or you can't do the meditative state. And the emotions that are out of control are going to be highlighted, because they're going to be the things that are going to come to the front and say, you can't do this.
Yes. So that is a crucial point of this whole movement forward into understanding your emotional state, is to be in the moment and be aware of the emotions coming through.
And I have always known, like movement has always been connected with emotions. You have dance, you have all kinds of types of movements that are connected to emotions. Yes. And when you can express your emotions through movement, you have control over them. When you can breathe and be in control of your breathing while you're dealing with emotions, you can control them. And if you can handle and a lot of that times have to do with, you can handle the intense state that the body puts into you when you're really emotional, and you can handle it in a relaxed way, because, I've handled it so many times before, this is nothing. When you get that kind of attitude, then you can really, you can not only handle the emotions, but you can effectively inspire people and affect people with these emotions. But the key to this is, you're not going to be able to get control of your emotions if you don't have the right spiritual theories that connect you with reality.
Yes, that is a very good point. And also, the things that you've gone through are those stepping stones to give you the strength in the right now moment that you can face whatever spiritual, emotional, physical things that happen. You can stand strong, you can stand tall, you can stand brave in the courage and knowledge that you will push to the bitter end.
And the thing is, with my type of training, it's rough, it's hard, it's difficult, it can be painful because it'll bring out emotions and things out of you that are not easy to handle. The truth
Yeah.
is painful. Growing spiritually is painful and
Yes.
difficult.
Habits, breaking habits, they're painful.
It's all rough.
Yes.
And that's why you have to have spiritual theories to connect you with reality and and help you to handle the fact that reality is difficult, reality is rough, it's hard to achieve things, but it's a positive thing that the reality is challenging because it brings out the most in yourself.
Exactly.
In the hard side of life, the rough side of life, the side of life that the person
survive.
The type of person that climbs Mount Everest or takes on the biggest challenges, they're gonna go through a lot of struggle.
Yeah.
They're gonna go through a lot of difficulty, and that's what's required to achieve things. So it's important to be able to handle the roughest that life can deal you, because that's how you achieve the greatest results in this world.
And sometimes people don't think that they need to push themselves that far, but here it is in reality. Going through the mundane life every day, to and from, back and forth, it doesn't give you enough spiritually. It doesn't feed you enough spiritually. You have to reach to that creative outlet and push and grow and evolve. And the ones that don't, they literally stay stagnant in a movement that doesn't go anywhere. We need to evolve. We need to move. We need to push ourselves. We need to face those hard, painful things in our emotions and get through them. Talk it out. Let it release. Say, this is what's going on, and be okay with just doing that.
And one of the things you have to understand is your body creates the pain. So in a sense, you're creating your own pain.
Yes.
It's part of you. And a lot of times, if you want to heal yourself, if you want to get stronger, you have to handle the pain.
That's right.
That's involved in getting stronger. It's not easy to get stronger. It's not easy to handle the painful, difficult problems, the abuse, the violence, and all the terrible things that are happening in this world.
There's so much excuses.
It's not easy. And we do not have the type of spiritual training techniques out there like mine. I'm trying to get mine out there that understand you have to do something really difficult, really hard. You'd have to do really hard training. You talk about graduate school with hard training. Well, the graduate school that has to do with the spiritual has to do with hard training relating to the emotional side of one's being, and also the pain and difficulty, which will challenge your emotions.
And experiences. It's been amazing, the experiences that I just walk through, and things that I wasn't even aware of that were really emotionally holding me back until I started the meditative walking instead of the healthy habits, the healthy perceptions. You reach into that for yourself, and then it's like a new, fresh perception that you give yourself in strength and courage and compassion and mercy that you can actually do it.
And as reality, or the hard physical world, does challenge us emotionally. And it's a very rational type of world we live in. It's very reasonable. And it's very hard for people to face how sobering it can be because it's so rational and reasonable. It's very hard to deal with.
But I think that what's most important also is that there is a sea of potential and a sea and a spiritual energy that you can create anything that you want to, but you have to do the footwork. You have to be in reality-based senses, and you have to want that belief to grow with each day, each moment that you try to stay in the positive, try to push yourself to this level of new spiritual awarenesses.
Yeah, you can create things as long as you're tuned into um, the material you're working with, the physical universe, and you work with that material, and you can create things that are valuable for
Yes.
yourself and other people, because what's physical is valuable to you. The physical is what
Yes, you want your
challenges the
needs
spirit.
met. You want your needs met. And like minimalists, and it takes very little for your needs to be met physically. And the mindset that you don't overindulge in things, you cut it to the point where you can live comfortably, but not over excess. That also gives you the balance and emotion, because you're not dealing with a whole bunch of excessive things all around you. You're dealing with the right now little bit things that are in your life, that gives you comfort and humbleness.
Well, the reason I stressed how things spiritually have to be reasonable, rational, and workable in this reality is because that I've developed spiritual theories that align in that way. And when you're pushing it really hard, that's what you have to have. You have to have the approach that you're doing that, which really is valuable to you because it's
Yes.
reasonable and it's rational and it's going to bring results because of that. It's kind of hard to see something that's um, delusional or fantasy related as being able to, if you get challenged with that kind of energy, I don't see it going that far. It's a rational, sober energy that's going to help you to handle the pain and struggle of a real tough training program, and
Right.
also will bring the results in the future. In other words, if the world was irrational, then there wouldn't be anything. You couldn't develop any advanced spiritual theories. You can develop everything. There wouldn't be any
Yeah.
structure to it. Reason and rationality has to do with structure, and you can build on structure, but if you have no reason, you have no structure, you can't build on it. So it would be a waste of time for me to try to develop something spiritual where people could just say, believe whatever you want, and it will happen, which is not true.
Right. You
Because
have to do the flow work.
because the physical reality is structural, and you're gonna have to work through the
You
physical
really
reality.
do.
Because what's the point if you don't go up against something
And the
resist?
mental too. I mean, you have to rev it up. You got to keep like anything, the habit and the habitual things that you do are the routines and structure that he's talking about. So there has to be a reality based habitual training, a routine that gets you in the rev to get all the spiritual awareness hyped up to the level.
My
that we're talking
meditative
about.
walking training, I've been on that for over 30 years. I've been on my dumbbell swing exercise,
Yeah.
which is really more cardio and intense, and I've been on that for over 4 years. So it does take time to do these things.
And everybody knows that, and the ones that need to research, exercise when you're stressed. It's one of the number one things to do when you want to get rid of an unhealthy habit, is to plug in positive ones, and exercise and breathing and meditation and spiritually looking at things in a new perspective light that gives you healthy positive thoughts. Those are the things that are going to get you somewhere.
And the reason I focus on this physical reality, which sometimes people don't see how obvious it would be to focus on it, is because it's a resistant um, element to our reality. It's resistance that challenges us.
Yes.
If we didn't have a physical reality that when you go up against it, it stops you, and that's what essentially our physical reality is. It's substance that has form in its hardness that has to be dealt with, that challenges us.
Yes.
So the reason we have this physical reality, to anybody that has spiritual belief that's trying to escape resistance and challenge and hard work, um, they, they don't have the type of spirituality to me that's going to be effective at
Right.
all. Because
Right.
because to be effective, it has to have some kind of strength. It has to be
Strong
able to go.
warriors.
It has to be able to go up against. It has to prove itself
Right.
against something, and that's why the physical reality is so important, and that's why I focus so much on it. And it's sort of like I'm explaining the obvious, but when you deal with a world with all these types of religions and so forth that are escapists from this physical reality. You say to yourself, well, why? Why don't people get it? Well, a lot of times the most obvious stuff people just don't get.
And they won't get it until they're ready to. It's just like blah 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 in one ear and out the other, and it just doesn't that radio wave doesn't really.
But the way things are in this world right now, in this highly technological world where we're not handling very maturely spiritually, because we haven't advanced enough spiritually, the way it is in this world, we're going to have crises. We're going to have challenging situations. And the people that can't handle it, they're going to be gone. And the people that can handle it, they're going to be the ones that are going to be making straightening things out. Because when there's a crisis and things go wrong, that's when you straighten things out and you make things better. And they'll see it as an opportunity to straighten this world out, because now at least people are aware these are the problems. They're pretty obvious now. Now we can do something about it. But the ones that don't want to deal with the problem, that have beliefs or whatever that don't recognize the need to face these problems.
We can just stay home and watch Jeopardy.
Well, I mean, that's just a hard reality, is that when things get really rough, some people have to bail, and other people will face it. And I want the people to be with positive vibes, that have the character, that have the strength of character to face things, and to make a difference in this world, and to understand that we can do it
by our examples and our strengths.
But we have to do the hard work, and we have to be able to handle the emotions and pain that comes with the problem.
And keep pushing. Don't let that resistance stop you.
And the thing is, you can handle it.
Yes.
You can handle it. You can handle anything.
We believe in you.
In other words, it's just that we haven't got to the point where we have had to develop all these techniques, but with the age we're going into, it's forcing us. It's forcing our hand, and I think that's why a lot of the reason why I'm motivated the way I am at this point is because the time is right for this kind of stuff.
Yes.
Okay, this is Positive Vibes Enterprise. The subject has been emotion, power, the spiritual. And I would say again that if you can handle the emotions related to any incident, any situation you face in life, you can handle the situation.
That's right.
So you don't have to always think, all the terrible things happening on the surface, I can't handle it. If you see on the subsurface, on the emotional level, you're handling it. It'll happen all right on the surface, because the subsurface, the emotions that underlie it, are actually the key to whatever happens.
Plug in the positive. Plug in the positive.
So thank you very much for watching.
Subscribe.
Yes, subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Yes.
We appreciate you, and we want you to spread the word to other people, because we badly need more people to get involved in this. I'm not fooling around.
Leave us a comment.
And thank you very much.
Bye-bye.